Welcome to UTS session. So what we do is that I'm actually based in Malaysia. I'm will handle UTS for the last 7 years. And what we're going to share today is like what do UTS able to offer to you? What we can offer to you at UTS and who is UTS? So UTS basically is a very young university. We are located right in the middle of Sydney and we have been in the market for since 1988. It's a university who is only 32 years old. I'm actually older than the uni. So we offered about 150 undergrads degree and 240 postgrad degree across so many areas. And for UTS, it has been a technological-based university. So what we do is that we apply technology in every single areas of learning process. So example, our law degree, we actually have technology law major in laws. In terms of engineering, I'll show you some of the facilities later. In terms of the business, we can do double major. And in double major, you can do even a major in business and the second major in IT if you want to. And of course, in all the areas like nursing, we use robots in terms of how you study and how you actually practice in the campus. It's just amazing. Okay, now look at the photo that you're looking at the moment. This is basically Sydney. So I'm giving you an angle of the corner of the city center. So why I'm showing you this photo is basically I want to show you where UTS actually located and how close we are to the city, or we are actually part of the Sydney city. So if you look at this road is actually the main road of Sydney, which is, we call it the George Strait. And this lead up to all the Citibank and all the big banks around, all here, the KPMG, EY, Ernst & Young, and so on. So it's all along this street. And this area is actually Chinatown. And why I'm showing you this is because I want to show you how we are connected to the entrepreneurship hub of Sydney or Australia. So UTS actually is from this corner all the way up here, all the way to this corner and coming back again. So to be actual, we actually own about 64 buildings in the city. So yeah, that's quite a numbers of buildings. It's 64, yeah. And if you look at this area, this is basically Darling Harbour, another hotspot of Sydney, where every Saturday you will see fireworks coming out from the riverside, and yeah, it's just awesome. And this white building, the whole stretch here is actually the International Convention Center of Sydney. So just to give you an idea how happening this district is, it's just awesome. You talk about food, amazing. You talk about accommodation, there's plenty. Just give you an idea of how many accommodation is surrounding UTS. You see these two red outstanding building. This is actually Urbanest. It's a private accommodation. This is Urbanest Key Street. And this is basically UTS accommodation. And then here will be Igloo. And this stretch is also Igloo. After that, there's UTS accommodation here. And this whole stretch is basically Urbanest Water Street. And then UTS has another accommodation here. And this is Fish Market. So actually, you can walk from the campus. It's about 15, 20 minutes, you reach the Fish Market. You walk 8 minutes, you reach the Chinatown. You walk 20 minutes, you are inside the city center. Basically, across the street from UTS, you can't see this corner. Basically, it is the largest train station of Sydney. So it's called the Central Station, and it's just across the street. So it's just awesome, okay? And of course, in front of UTS, there is a mall. I'll zoom in and I'll show you how close it is, okay? So this is a zoom in version of the photo. And you can see that I just want to stress a little bit on this particular building. So all the UTS building, the new building at UTS, all of them are 5-star, 6-star green building. It's all about sustainable. It's all about futuristic. It's all about technology. How we do that, just give you an example. This engineering and IT building is just crazy. It has more than 2,000 sensors. So when you walk in the building, it actually detects someone is walking in the building. And by the time it detects, it collects data. So when it collects all the data, and then it automatically adjusts its temperature, it automatically generates its own energy. it recycles its own water. So when he knows how many people is in that particular area, it automatically cool down the building. So it is a sustainable building. It is a data center, and it's just crazy awesome. Okay, so this is how UTS apply the technology in every single area of the building. The next building that you locate here is, we call it the UFO, or the central building. This is basically brand new for 1 year old. So officially in November last year, we officially opened this building. And this is where the new library located. And it's just fantastic. The building itself, I'll show you later on how it looked like inside, and you will definitely love the libraries. Okay, it's a 7-story space, and it's just awesome. And you can see that every building, on top of the building, we definitely have what we call solar panel to make sure that we also generate energy and recycle water and so on. So that's how it is. And if you look at this area, this building, we actually have the Masters of Genetic Counseling, we have Master of Psychology, we have Master of optotic, all the eyes, actually everything. We have all the clinic available to practice by students when they are studying at UTS. And let's go to the next photo. So when I mentioned earlier the convention center, this is the frontage of how it looked like. Okay, this is Chinatown. This is the wet market. It's just across the street from the business school. It's very near. This is the night view of Darling Harbour, and this is the public library just in front of, behind the business school. So if you look at this is the train station that I said is across the street from the main building. Yeah. So yeah, if you look at this is the night view of the what we call the Darling Harbour. The corner here is the wet market, or we call it the paddy market, and Chinatown. And this is the convention center of Sydney. And the middle one here, this exchange, is basically the public library of Sydney, and it's just right behind the business school. And just across the street from the main campus, this is the train station we call the Central Station, and it's just across the street. And we have an underground path that comes out straight at the accommodation at UTS. So it's just crazy. UTS is not only young, and we are also quite good in our ranking. When you talk about ranking, you talk about research, you talk about investment, you talk about all the areas that the university put in to make sure students get the best experience when they are studying at UTS. So for a 32 years old university, 32 years old university, we actually are ranked at 133 in the world. And if you look at the ranking, we are basically climbing almost every single year. Yeah, so you look at every year, we just continue to grow in the market. And under QS, UTS was also recognized as one of the most aggressive growing university in the world. Yes, the fastest growing in the world. And not only one ranking, we talk about 2 ranking, 3 ranking, multiple ranking. In time higher education, we are also ranked at 160. And when you compare to the rest of the world university, when you have very high ranking level university, most of the university have one faculty, which is the medicine faculty. UTS do not have that. The medicine research will bring the university up very high, but UTS, we do not have medical faculty, and we just have all the other faculties that we have. So we are able to reach very high without a medical faculty. So this is one thing that you should look at, okay? And of course, a lot of people say you are under 50. So we also have another category as a young university. In terms of young university, we are actually ranked 11 in the world and 15 in the world under 2 different rankings. But in Australia, we are ranked number 1 on the both ranking for the last 6 years. So I want to tell you one thing, UTS is a very consistent university. We grow consistently, we stay on the level of consistently as well. So we try to make sure we have the quality ready for the students. And we are part of the public universities in Australia. Out of the 43 universities, we are one of them. And definitely we want to make our universities to be recognized on our technology and our global impact. This is what we want. So every student that comes out to the industry, we want to make sure you have the practical and industry relevant experience and knowledge before you leave the university. So I want to challenge you one thing. When you finish today's session, I want you to go and search for UTS learning.future. Okay, UTS learning.future. When you go into learning.future, you will see a lot of how we actually teach the students and why UTS has been graded as under the Wharton Award, where the education system is one of the best in the world since 2016 or 2015. And this is how we actually teach our students and how we prepare them for the industry. So to cut short my story, very simple. The next photo that you'll be looking at is how our class and how our lecture theaters look like and how we allocate all the collaborative learning space. When you talk about collaborative learning space, mean practical, case study, and you talk about how you communicate with each other in the class. And the way we teach the student is we do not want to waste students' time in the university. And what we do is we try to split the class into two concepts. One, things that you can learn on your own, we don't want to teach you. Things that you cannot learn on your own, we will teach you. So what we do is that we split the class into two modes. One is pre-recorded. So before you come to class, you can see the video and you can read the notes before you come to the class. That means you can read and see many times until you have clear idea or you have question in your mind. When you attend the class, you start to ask questions. And imagine you go into a lecture theater of 160 students, and then you ask the question, and some other people also ask questions because the lecturer expected question to be asked. So when you all ask the question, he has already prepared that you might ask A, B, C question. So he also prepared case study, project, or activities that will be able to answer your question. And that's the best part. And instead of answering you, they split you into groups like this. Okay, group like this. And then you have to go into discussion mode. You have to go into practical mode. You have to go into teamwork. You have to do brainstorming. You have to come up with solutions. And imagine you do that for the next 3 years, the next 4 years, or next 2 years. And how many classes you have to go through in that sense. How many type of people you have to work with. Different character, different concept, different idea, different people in groups that can't work together. At the end of the day, you have to work together. So you adapt to that culture. So for you, you become very, very strong in many, many areas. And what we're trying to do is we make sure students will have the skill of future of work. And this is what the industries are looking for. People who understand what digital literacy is, how to apply your workforce in the technology world, how to make sure you are strong in problem-solving skills, how to work across multidiscipline or discipline in different category or work with different group of people. And the best area is the entrepreneur skill, the skill where you can work with different team people and basically you can collaborate and understand each other in that sense. So entrepreneur skill is one of the key things that industry people want, someone who is able to communicate and work with multiple group of people. So this is something that the industry people want. So imagine yourself when you exit UTS or you graduate from UTS, going through an interview, because someone will ask you a question related to a specific area in your study areas. Imagine now, because you go through the process of problem solving, case study, and then you do activities to solve your problem. For you to answer a question is very easy. It's not about reading exam. No, it's all about practical. So for you to answer the interview question is also very easy. That's why in terms of securing a job, it's quite easy for UTS students because they have been practicing that throughout their learning process. Now, I'm going to share a little bit of the facilities at UTS. I hope you are looking at the photo now. And just to give you an idea, the corner photo here, where the square orange box, this is basically a 5G antenna chamber where we can test 5G signal and 6G signals at the moment. UTS, I believe at this moment, until today, we are still the only one in Australia who have the 5G antenna chamber to do all this testing. And you look at the corner photo on the left, basically this is a data arena. This data arena is someone who interested in animation, someone who interested in data analytics, someone who interested in visualization. They will love these facilities because it's a 360-degree room where you can put your data in and imagine you are like Iron Man. So you have a device on your hand that you can actually pull the data, move the data. Of course, you need to wear a 3D glass. You can actually do all that. It's similar to that concept, but of course, it's not that advanced, but you are quite near to that category. And what is looking at the bottom here, someone who are interested in game development, you also do a lot of data analytics. So we work with Acer and Intel. This is an Acer Predator device where we do analytics in terms of how to analyze people behavior, human behavior of how they actually utilize play games and so on. And the video that is ongoing playing, this is Tech Lab, a lab based at Sydney, and is one of the very unique lab in Australia, as is only one of this type. And it has all kinds of research facilities that is available in the middle of industrial zone. And this one, basically, we have all the industry people coming in, working together with the students and involved in the research of the facilities at UTS. And who is this cute guy at this corner? This is basically, if you use Apple product, definitely you should know him. He is the co-founder of Apple. He is Steve Wozniak, and he's also our adjunct professor at UTS. He's the creator of iOS system. Without Steve Wozniak, there's no Apple. Okay, Steve Jobs is the branding person. Steve Wozniak is the soul of Apple, the iOS system. So he is also our adjunct professor, and he's also part of our AI community team. And just to give you an idea, UTS is also the largest AI center in Australia. So we talk about artificial intelligence, we talk about all that. Yes, we are one of the largest AI center in Australia. And for students who are doing civil engineering, you will love these facilities, especially those who are doing structure testing. So what happened is like these facilities at the corner left is basically the only one in Australia as well. This is an earthquake testing facility. You can test up to 6G of earthquake, how to move the building so that the building doesn't collapse and so on. And we do all kinds of things at UTS. It's all about how to apply technology in the modern world, how to make sure that we can get best outcome results in the industry. And we invest all the technology so that students can utilize and learn the latest technology. That's what we do. And this area, this corner right, is basically the algae reproduction facilities. A lot of people don't know, of course, in Southeast Asia, algae is everywhere because it's humidity is everything. So what happens about, do you know that algae is in food, algae is in medicine, algae is in skincare, algae is in also the fuel. So basically, we are doing reproduction now to make sure we're testing to see how it can actually convert to all these things and in mass scale. So we are already in progress in doing all the project going on, it's ongoing project. And what you're looking at here in Australia is not like Southeast Asia. The moment you open the water tap, you can actually drink from the tap, okay? And what we do is actually we design robots for the government, for the Sydney Water, to go in and test all this piping to make sure that, to know when to repair, when to clean, when to make sure that it's safe and for people to drink. So because human can't go in, so we design robots to go into the piping to check out all these things. Currently, we design many robots. One of the robots is to clean and paint and make sure the harbour bridge of Sydney is clean. So we repaint the bridge, we do all that by robots, not even a human involved in that project. So there's a lot of things that is going on at UTS. In Vietnam, we actually do a very big project there in terms of the agriculture to make sure all the reproduction of the agriculture is protected in the sea. So we have this AI devices system, it's solar panel, it's all mechanical, it's mechatronics, everything is inside this particular building. It detects, it analyzes, it comes out with the result of how acidic the water is, how poison is it, or any pollution it is, and then it sends back the signal to the base center so that we can actually make sure to maintain the quality of the seafood in Vietnam. So, and many other things that's available at UTS. Of course, in the future, you can't even miss out 3D printing. And UTS has one of the most advanced 3D printing in Australia. We launched this in September 2019, and it was announced as one of the most advanced 3D printing facilities in Australia. Just to give you an idea, we basically have almost every single type of 3D printing facilities at UTS. Just to name a few, basically this is a food printing machine. We have a printing machine that can print a circuit board. Imagine now you have a chipboard that's spoiled. You don't need to go and do solder. You can just print the circuit board and plug it in and you can utilize it again. We have silicon printer, we have metal printer, we have, you name them, basically we have almost every single device in the market. And if you talk about BioX basically this is, sorry, I automatically skipped the page. BioX basically is a printing machine using stem cell. We are working together with Sydney Uni and another agency in Australia. Together, we actually are doing organ printing process. So imagine the next future, you might have a job in printing organ. Yeah, there's a lot of things that's going on in the market. Like example, this printer is actually larger than me. It's huge, higher than me, and as long as me. So it's really cool. We have all kind of machine in the UTS. Students just need to buy the raw material and book the timeline to use the facilities. So that's why all the facilities is open for students and they can actually utilize it as they want. This is the library, as I mentioned earlier. So this is a study room. We call it the reading room. And then it's a 7-story space. So we have outdoor and indoor. So you can study indoor, you can study outdoor in the library. And the best part is, if you can't find the book in the library, it is actually stored right underground of this garden. We store up to 1 million books under this garden. A lot of people say, oh, very cool. Yeah, we have a robotic system. So you just key into the computer, order, the robot will go underground, take the book and send it back to the collection area. Yeah, we apply technology in every single area of the uni. So that's how cool the uni is. Okay. So of course, if you talk about science, today I won't talk about all the facilities at UTS. I'll just touch like 10 to 20% of the university's facilities. There's still long list of the facilities. If I talk 2 hours or so, I don't have enough time to talk about 2 hours. So I have long time to share with you. So just give you an idea, LIT is the science lab. It's called a super lab. We have 2 super labs. There's only 13 in the world. We have 2 of the super lab at UTS. And it's just amazing. And the space and the environment, we are right in the city, but you don't feel that you are in the city. And if you think that you are a person who have a business idea, you like to do startups, you like to have good ideas. I know Thai people love to innovate. Thai people have awesome creativity. Whether you are in IT, whether you are in business, whether you're in design, you just name it. I can see every single areas of Thai students with perfect designing skill and startups opportunity. UTS allocated 2 buildings just for startup. And every single quarter of the year, we arrange venture capitals. People with funding come in and listen to students' presentation, pitching. And if your ideas are good, then they will fund your idea. Currently, we have about 400 projects that is funded by venture capitals. And the buildings we allocated for students is free for them to do their business without a single payment. So that's awesome. And if your startup has related to your study area, you can even use the startup process training and observation supported by your lecturer. So you can replace your internship with that. And basically, we are very strong with the industry. Just give you some idea. Engineering and IT have more than 1,000 partners in Sydney itself. The business school also have a lot of partners we have career office, we have the internship partner in the faculty. There's so many departments that support students to secure their part-time job or full-time job. So it's just awesome. And the career office, just to give you an idea also that we have 46,000 students. We are right in the middle of Sydney, but we have 46,000 students. 33.3% is international students. We take up about 15,000 of them. And the rest are all domestic students. So that's cool, right? So it is not to say very Asian and not to say very, very crowded. We have about 22 countries students, 122 countries students. And it is just very, very multicultural. It is actually quite a good area to study in. And just give you an idea of how UTS career can support students. Well, when you want to go for an interview, especially for foreign students, but first time there, it's going to be a big challenge. You're a bit worried. What we do is they actually will support you in terms of they will do mock interview with you before you actually go on to the real interview. If you don't have a professional photo on your LinkedIn profile, you still like to put the kawaii photo, the cute photo, because LinkedIn is actually a professional page. So they will advise you to have a professional photo. If you don't have one, don't worry. Just go to their office. They will have a headshot for you, and then you can upload to your LinkedIn profile. And if you want to have a one-to-one counseling on your career, they also do that. They also have a career blog that to support your learning process before you go for the real interview. And the best part is, if you don't have a suit to go for interview, we basically have a suit for hired. So you can rent a suit to go for an interview and then return them with a small fees. So everything is covered from A to Z to make sure that every student is protected and make sure they actually gain the experience in terms of the industry. And also take note that UTS is 32 years old. We are young and 133 in the world ranking. At the same time, that shows us very strong in the study area, the research area. On the other hand, we are actually ranked 7th best employed university and 69 in the world, 7 in Australia and 69 in the world. So it tells you that the way we teach students is practical enough to bring them to the industry, is good enough for them to get employed. And in Australia, there's 42 universities, and there's only 8 Australian universities ranked in the top 100, and we are one of them. Okay, so this is something to think of, and something to think of that you can, why UTS is important for you. It's a practical-based university. At the same time, it's good in employability. It's actually very good. So in terms of scholarship on 2021, if you are studying in year 12 or A levels or IB in Thailand, basically we do have scholarship for a full undergrad program, and also IB we have a 50% scholarship. And if you didn't manage to study these two and you have to come in through our diploma pathway, and your score during the first year has awesome result in the first year, you also will get 50% on the second year, third year, and fourth year. So there is all kind of scholarship available for you. Of course, we can actually get into more details when you have question for me later. And you talk about undergrad scholarship. We also have in other countries that may not be available to you, but this one definitely yes. If your high school year 12 result, which is recognized by like Matayom, IB, A levels, and if you do not get the 100% and 50%, automatically, if your result is good enough, just give you an example. If your A levels is 3 Bs and above, you will be able to get a 25% scholarship for your total study duration. So something to think of and something to focus on. And of course, for postgraduate student, of course, we never miss out you. You definitely have 100% scholarship as well, but you really need to work hard on your score. If your score is awesome, you can also apply for this. This one you need to apply. The 100% and the 50% scholarship all need to be applied. The rest of the scholarship is automatically assessed and awarded without any application. Okay, as long as you put in application, you will meet the cutoff, they will give it to you on your offer letter. Okay, so in terms of people who are coming in for engineering, IT, for health, and also for business school, for master's degree, yes, you will automatically get a 25% scholarship if you meet the cutoff point. So as long as your score is averagely okay, you should be able to get that 25% scholarship as well for 2021. Okay, so something to look forward to. And just a reminder, you do not need to put in application except for the 100% scholarship. Okay, for the 100% scholarship for March intake, we will be opening on this 23rd of November. So it will close in 24th of this Christmas Day, before Christmas Day. So we will close the application for the 100% and the 50% scholarship. Okay, just take note of that. And being a city campus, we do have sports. Okay, we do have sport. You name it, we have it. We have almost every single area. 2017, 2018, we smacked gold in terms of the Sydney University Olympic in Australia. We basically strike gold. I think in 2019 we strike second place in Australia. So yeah, it's just awesome. And it's fun and it's active, very active. In terms of the survey, they are talking about almost 68% of the students at UTS is very, very aggressive and very, not to say aggressive, is very active in the industry. So this is something good to know. And in terms of accommodation, we are looking at about 23,000 a year for you to live in Australia. So that is the estimated amount. Of course, the lowest, they talk about 12,000, but I don't bother that. always look at the highest. I never look at the lowest. So this is something to think of. And we do have accommodation. And just to give you an idea of the accommodation that we have, one of the example here is this apartment with 6 single room, 2 toilet, 2 shower, 1 kitchen, and 1 living room. This is in the range of 300 a week, and all in except for food. And basically, it is quite convenient. They have almost every single facility. If you play piano, they have grand piano. If you play drum, they have drum room. We have computers, we have services, everything on the campus. And the $300 is inclusive of the gym facilities in the uni. So you do not need to subscribe to gym. All the uni's gyms, you can utilize it for free. So that's something that to think of. And yeah, and any other question, definitely I'm hoping you have question for me. And now this is basically the public accommodation, like the igloo, the urban nest is all walking distance from UTS. Just now I have mentioned, I'll show you on the earlier of the presentation. And now I show you the actual building of it. This is only some of them. There's in total, there's about 11 of them altogether. Okay. If you want to download our guidebook for 2021, postgraduate and undergraduate, you can scan it now. If not, you can always capture this screen and then later you can scan it, or you can even download from our website. After this, it will give you a PDF if you scan this. So no worries, you can always come back to this later. And yeah, it's going to be Q&A session. And if you want to keep contact with us, definitely happy for you to email us and stay on with our Facebook page. But of course, the most important, because you are in Thailand at the moment, my advice is to connect with our agent Insight, where they will be able to support you from A to Z of all your processes, and you do not need to pay for a single cent. Okay, everything is covered except of course your fees and of your living costs and your visas. Okay, the rest, the support, the documentation, everything. Cameron and his team will definitely able to support you. And Insight has been a partner to UTS for many, many years. They are very well experienced, and they definitely will be able to support you from all around.